Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And good evening, everybody. Wow, that is hot. Very hot. Striker. Coming in hot, Striker. Well, this is the John Wristen Show. We are at Andy Max. I'm Jim Brooks, the Chieftain's Joe Cervi. We got the head coach, John Wristen, who's here on time. He's starting a new trend the last 2 weeks. Tundra's in the house. Tundra, how are you, Tundra?
There's Tundra.
Yellowstone.
All right, Tundra's been in Yellowstone, tracking wolves, tracking bears.
A little snow.
Oh, my, it was a fun trip. And you got to admire Tundra's parents there, John, trekking all the way across Wyoming to see the ball game at Black Hills, and then coming all the way down to Gunnison to see it play.
It was pretty special seeing them, and I know they were on a mission at Yellowstone. They always go at this time of year, and it's great to be a part of that family.
Well, let's talk about the ball game Saturday. I mean, we thought going in it might be one of those old-fashioned slobber knockers. Kind of that way, wasn't it? I mean, that was two strong defensive ball clubs just battering each other the entire ball game, and you made one more play than they did.
Well, I think that going in the game, like I said, I thought it was going to be a little bit of an old-school type of game, the old RMAC, and be able to handle that. And so, and it turned out that way. And I thought our defense really played outstanding, did a great job of making Austin run sideways, and we didn't let him get north and south. We played really strong in our gaps, and I thought we fit great, and we covered well. I was worried about their passing game. Hunter was a little bit worried about their passing game. And so I thought we were just outstanding on the defensive side. You know, there's a reason why those two teams are leading the conference in defense, obviously, and it showed what was happening. And I thought offensively, what was the key that probably didn't get noticed, we held the ball in the second half for over 20 minutes, and our defense was fresh, and we missed some opportunities. Like we had, it's tough to overcome self-inflicted wounds, and a lot of those are penalties and doing those things, and so we got to do a better job of that. But in all around, it was a great victory. I was drained. Our kids were drained. I thought it was kind of cool at the start of the fourth quarter, the defense coming over the offense. They're fresh and giving us a little juice and excitement on the sidelines. And I just thought it was a well-played game on both sides. And we were able to overcome 12 penalties called against us with their only 2, and we found a way to win.
Well, I thought the reaction was great from the ball club after the ball game was over. It was almost like, man, that was a good win. I think everybody had that feel-good feeling there.
Yeah, you know, you really couldn't all get in the same locker room or do those things, so we had to meet on the field and get all that done. And it was a nice victory because, you know, we're still playing for first place in the RMAC. We're still have an opportunity to still be a part of that. And that's what you want for these games at the end of October, and to have a chance with these games and going into November. It's that gold box where hopefully you can do enough things to go play for something, and the Thunderwolves are doing it at 16.
Well, you talk about the defense putting the stranglehold on them. The first drive, they got a couple of first downs, forced them to punt. Then the next drive, they got their touchdown. But after that, pretty much held them in check. The only time they really threatened, late in the first half, they missed a field goal. Then late in the game, after they got the big play and then the penalty tacked on back-to-back, I mean, that was kind of a stressful moment there. But the defense rose up there and got the sack. We kind of called for it on the air. The sack could be huge here, and lo and behold, the defense got the sack, put them out of field goal.
Yeah, I think Brock did a nice job of shooting the gap, staying low, and made a special play, and that put him behind the chains a little bit. And when you're behind that with our defense, that makes it even tougher to try to convert and get a first down. But it also took him out of field goal range.
Right.
And so that was really critical to that.
It's kind of funny talking to Brock before the game. He a little limited in practice last week because he's banged up. I mean, he's got as many ailments as anybody on the team, and he goes, mate, I don't know if I could go. And he went.
Yeah. He had very few reps last week. You know, he got thigh contusion,
right.
and then he's also playing with a little broken rib, as we call it. And,
just a little one.
Just a little one.
It's a little broken rib when it's somebody else's.
Exactly.
It only hurts when you breathe.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I thought Sizer did pretty good there in the middle guard position, kind of pushing and shoving people around there too. To control their offense, you had to, kind of occupy the line to let your linebackers go to work on Eckler, and I thought they had a clean shot at him most of the day.
I thought going into the game, I thought their offense line was really much improved, and I still think that. But I think our defensive line really stepped it up in this game, because when we slant and we move, and we were playing fast, and that's what you want, is a chance to play fast this time of year. And playing fast is mean you're executing and doing your job, doing all the things right. But the key is that we were fitting from all sides. That means you were cupping the ball and we were attacking it. And so really good things were happening in our defense, and they controlled the game.
Well, and then offensively, you didn't run it as well as you'd like to, but I thought you had some good runs during the game to kind of keep some things going. But that passing play to Larry Clark, that little screen pass, I mean, you just see something there, or is that just something you scout and say, hey, we're going to go to that as many times as we can?
Well, when our numbers are right and it's 1-on-1 out there, we're going to take advantage of it. And they were loading the box, and they were bringing it from everywhere in their run stunts. And we had trouble identifying it a few times, but they were fitting it right on their defense, and we were just missing by a close inch on a couple things. And so, but we were able to run it enough to control the ball for over 20 minutes in that second half, and that kept our defense fresh, and it was able to have us be able to control the game and not really be on our heels a little bit. And so I think it was a combination. I got a little conservative in the fourth quarter. There was, we ran the ball on 3rd and 6 when I saw him come nickel, and I wanted to run it. We made the first down, so we held the ball for another 2.5 minutes at that time. And then it got to be 3rd and 10 because we had a penalty, and so I just said, let's be smart on this thing, and let's run it and punt it. And they called timeout. Probably could have thrown a pass there, do those things, but in all reality, we found a way to go win that ball game.
Well, Joe talked about it on the air. I was a little more reserved. I don't know, the officials can bug me, but I get in trouble when I pick on those guys in stripes. But what is going on, John, with this? What's going on? I mean, 12-2.
Well,
I mean,
if you look
and
at
then there's a couple plays where they didn't call, where the offensive pass interference on the side. I thought it might have been a deciding play of the game if they'd have been connected. The wide receiver was going down the right sideline, gave, I think it was Henry, a shove in the back, but he still stayed with it and able to break up the pass. But he could have easily went down there. He could have caught it with a touchdown, no flag.
Yeah.
It's just the things they didn't call bug me as much as the stuff they do call on you all the time.
Well, if you really look at it from our Black Hills game to this game, and is our two games that the penalties are 26-4, and I just don't believe that
you're that much worse than everybody else.
I don't know, but we'll continue to work on it and stress it. The things that drive me crazy, and we're going to get after it, is the penalties that are before the whistle, and the penalties are after the whistle. So those are the things that we have control, and we have to do a better job of that. And we had 3 of those on Saturday, and we got to do a better job of understanding. We had really 4 of those with the defensive offsides, and then a 15-yarder on the opening drive where Knorr just had him turn around and got a little shove in there, and then so those things happen. But I got to do a better job of coaching, and we got to make sure that we can control what we can control. But those penalties, again, that are before and after the snap are things that we got to control.
Well, and our good friend Josh Johnson, I mean, he gets one. It seems like he gets one a game because he plays so hard, and it looked like they were going to let it go on that one. The officials got in it and broke everybody up. And
You guys are putting me in a tough position here.
That's why I jumped in there, John.
John wants to agree, and can we go to the next segment, Jim, please?
Well, I appreciate your passion towards that, I like I said, I want to control those things that happen before the snap and after the snap, and those things I can control. And then we'll let it fall where it goes.
Well, we haven't seen our good friend Gene Bauman.
Yeah, since early in the year.
Since that debacle in Grand Junction. So,
well, guys,
maybe he'll show up this weekend and come see us. Gene, we're calling you out. We want to at least
we have some questions.
Yeah, we have some questions, and we want to share a sandwich with you up in the booth.
I'm glad you want to see Gene.
Well, only just to talk to Gene.
Yeah, we like him.
He's actually fun to talk to.
He's a joy.
You talk to him every Sunday night about something.
Yes.
There you go. Well, we are here at Andy Max. We got Game 7 of the series going on. I see the Cubs struck first.
Dexter Fowler, leadoff home run.
Dexter gets a homer to get him
he wasn't any good at Colorado, but...
Well, he was all right.
He got the leadoff home run of the World Series.
That was a long time ago. He's developed into a pretty good player. Back then, he was expendable. He kind of hopped around before he got to the Cubs and found a home. But that's another story for another night.
I thought he went right to the Cubs.
No, he went to the Astros, and then he went up to the Cubs.
Oh.
He kind of washed out with the Astros. They kind of said, well, we got to get rid of this guy. And the Cubs picked him up. Boom. Ended up being a good player. But they're leading 1-0. Come on down and watch that. Join us. You can listen to the show right here in the studio, and then you can watch the game with us. Have these award-winning appetizers. We got the meatballs as usual. We got some crispy... boneless wings. We got all these dips. Maybe we should do one dip per wing and just smother it and see if we can stand it.
Well, knock yourself out, Jim.
I don't think we should do that.
That's old suicide.
That would be suicide.
What you do with sodas, right? You do with your pop.
If you got a question for the coach, it's 719-671-7574. I've seen my phone lighten up here off and on, so we've got a few lined up. Had 2 of them lined up before we got here, and about 3 or 4 more have come in, but we still have time to take those. We do those in our third segment tonight, 719-671-7574. Back after this timeout, John Wristen Show from Andy Max on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
And welcome back to Andy Max, John Wristen Show. And we got a request from the people in the house. They said we were a little hot. How's that, Tundra? Tundra, is that okay? All right. We don't want to disturb everybody watching the series. We're just going to kind of keep it down here in our little corner doing our show here.
Former CSU Pueblo outstanding golfer Matt Porter is here in the house. And
nice.
He told me before the game that he thinks Dexter Fowler might be the difference tonight. And who hits the leadoff home run? Dexter Fowler. So
he's a soothsayer.
There you go, Matt Porter. Now, if he can only play golf as good as he can predict leadoff home runs.
Well, we got a little error, E6 in the bottom of the first here. So we'll see if the Indians can take advantage of that. 1-0 the series. We're here at John Wristen Show from Andy Max. Come on down and join us. You can watch the series. You got every TV in the house almost with it on. That's the way to go. We got a MAC game on, though, too, right?
There is a MAC game on.
It's that time of year when there's MAC games on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Akron Zips.
John CU Buffs. Thursday night against UCLA. They're UCLA Bruins, too. You've got connections with both schools. That's got to be kind of fun watching that game Thursday night.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that Buffs are playing for something here at the first part of November. And UCLA's, I think they got a little injury bug going on.
Right.
So it should be a great game up in Boulder on Thursday night. Yeah, a night game in Boulder on Thursday night, it's pretty fun.
Do you root for CU or UCLA in that game, John?
I'm rooting for CU. Okay.
broke Joe's heart there.
What?
I knew the answer.
You got to do that.
You wonder if I would say it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, you did come through with it.
Well, the question is, I know who you're not rooting for.
No, I'm kind of tempering that just a little bit because we do have good friends there, and Jim and I were listening to Gary the other day, and he's fun. We like Gary Barnett, and so I'm tempering it a little bit, but I don't like rooting for UCLA either. When you're raised a Trojans fan, can't root for the Bruins.
Well, John, you mentioned in the conference, you're right up there, kind of the way we thought it would shake out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Said, well, things ought to work out. Of course, you had a tough struggle on Saturday, but now it's down to you, Mesa, and Mines, and probably going to end up that way. Probably the way it looks. If things go on paper as they should, but anything could happen. I suppose could have some bad weather for somebody. That's what you kind of hope for, like about 2 feet of snow when Black Hill State goes to play Mines, don't you?
Well,
something like that, something where you just have a screwy atmosphere. You might steal a win there to knock them out of the picture.
You know, Jim, reality, that's what you guys have all the time, to sit on the couch and think about these things. I'm trying to go beat a really good Dixie team.
Dixie's pretty good.
Dixie's really good, and so
I think they're better than everybody thought they were going to be.
They're really good. They're the most improved team in the league. I think after watching their first game versus New Mexico Highlands, and
yeah, that was kind of a snoozer.
We've been able to see those games as we've been going through and following them. They are the most improved team in the league, and they're doing a great job. They're going to run the ball. They got really, really great, outstanding running backs. But, you know, I want to get back to the Western State game a little bit and say, you know, I thought Larry Clark caught 9 balls. And he caught the biggest one in the second quarter when we went on a post. I thought we had great protection. Rex was able to set his feet and throw it right where he needed to be. And so I thought Rex threw the ball where it needed to be all day. And I think he was 21 of 32 and really had an outstanding game. And we did some good things. And I think that we're continuing to improve in that area. And obviously when you lose your big play back with Bernard, you got to figure out how to fabricate and try to run the ball a little bit and try to make sure those things are happening.
Yeah, Joe and I kind of mentioned on the air, we thought that was kind of a game where you missed Bernard a little bit, to have that little breakaway opportunity. When you did get a chance to make a play, you needed to make a big play against that defense. And, you know, that's a couple of decent runs there, but, you know, if you had the home run hitter there, they might have, 10 might have turned into 50.
Well, we had a couple of those, and we got called back because we weren't set right, and our hand wasn't down, and all those little things that I think lead to, I'm not using this as an excuse, but the reality of playing and winning a game up in Gunnison is the number one priority, okay? But there's a lot of things that take place up there that you have no control over. You don't have a locker room, you know, and it's just really
it's a joke, and it's a joke when you go to you can't say it because you got to be politically correct. I don't. You know, this is a Division II university. They try and push themselves off as this great, you know, you go to their facilities are crap. Yeah, they just are. And if you could be a cross-country school and a ski school and a soccer school, whatever, but if you're going to have a football program and you're going to invite and be a part of a league, you have to have some sort of standards, and they have none.
Well, their fishing facilities are nice.
Oh, without question.
Gunnison's first-rate home field for fishing.
Well,
do we have fishing in the RMAC? We don't have that. Okay, well then throw that out.
Yeah,
we're in the incubator, John. It was a little tough. I mean, after the ball game, sweat's pouring off. He tried to tear it down. Joe comes up and sits down. He's trying to write. He goes, oh, he had to get out.
I had to go right on the hood of my car. The hood of my car was better than the conditions we had to work in. That just tells you how bad the conditions were.
Well, when I usually see Joe after the game, he asked me a few questions about the game, and he goes, we don't have connections or something.
Yeah,
we don't have any.
No, we were not happy campers at all.
Yeah, you make arrangements early in the week for the IT guy to get your firewall down, and they don't do it. Then they can't find the IT guy on Saturday because he's
fishing,
doing something. Yeah, he's probably fishing out on the Gunners. He might have went up to Taylor, but they couldn't find him, so that's the reason we were upset. We were doing it over a little handset on the phone. But enough of us whining.
All right.
Talk about the officials again. You talk about a couple of those pass plays, John. The old out and up with Larry. They reached out and grabbed him, held him. That was going to be a touchdown up the right side. That was in the first half. That's when you had to settle. And I think that's when the field goal, who didn't get the field goal. Maybe that was in the third quarter when the old wheel route. And then the other play when, I don't know if it was a miscommunication between Rex and Larry, but Rex threw it kind of to the post, and Larry was still running up the hash as if he would have just made a little adjustment there. I think Rex saw what he needed to see, but Larry didn't make the adjustment. It looked like Larry's a little upset with himself that he didn't make the adjustment.
I think he was a little tired, too, and running that. But
probably not used to playing at 7,000 feet.
Well, that's one of those advantages you have playing there, for them. And so you got to overcome that. The other thing I thought that, we moved that opening drive, and we moved it down to having a chance at field goal. And how about this? I never heard this before. My snapper said the ball got caught in a divot when he was coming back, and so that's when the ball
when it rolled
back
5 yards.
And I'm going, oh my gosh, what else are we going to have? I mean, we had a decent drive. We also had a penalty there in that drive on that pushed that back, and we tried to overcome it. We got in field goal range. You just got to be able to manage that thing through, and so we're going to line up and kick a field goal, and we dribbled it back, so we missed the opportunity. And then we take the next drive and we drive it down, and we held the ball for it was 12 plays, and we didn't have an opportunity to really try to get in the end zone. I think it's because of those big plays, but we're being conservative, just trying to give our defense a rest to go play to those strengths that we had. And their defense did a great job. They were fitting and angling and trying to do those things. But I think the key was, Nathan Taylor, he stepped up there and made a great kick. We had great protection, and that kid's come on. And I like our team, their kids come on. And so I think that was one of the unique things, and that's happened to us, to see that growth as that true freshman. We've had some true freshmen step up and do some great things.
It's kind of an old-fashioned game, too, in the sense that you limited the amount of plays. You had a lot of running plays, so the time melts away, so you didn't have as many offensive plays run. So that leads to a lower scoring game, too, which makes it, the sense of urgency. You got to make the plays when you had the chance.
Right, and I think that, the uniqueness of playing up there for the first time with a lot of new faces and finding a way to win. Every time we play Western State, just think 2 years ago when we had to go 96 yards to go win the ball game.
Right.
And we're excited about that. Well, I never felt like we weren't really not in control of that game like I did 2 years ago, where you really had to make something happen. And I was really happy with the guys, and our special teams were really good. I was disappointed in our last punt. I thought we could have pinned him in there. We kick it in the end zone. And
you switched punters on that.
Yeah, we were trying to. Anthony feels like does a better job with our pooch, and so he wished he had that back.
Well, it was a good game. What I liked is Austin Eckler leads the nation in rushing,
right?
And he went nowhere. And that just, I mean, if there's a pride factor in your team playing a game like that, that's it. I mean, he's as good as we've seen. We've had Cameron McDonald for the last 2 years going for 4,000 yards, and Austin Eckler is in that category of special backs, and he's one of those guys, even at the end of the game, you just want to say, hey, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, that's what I told him after the game. I thought their quarterback also, it was a veteran heady guy.
Smart. That's why you were a step slow getting to him sometimes, because he knew where to go with it or how to get away from it. I mean, you could tell that was a veteran, an RMAC veteran.
Right. And, I think I said this a little bit, that those guys were all, I thought their offensive line was really, really pretty good going into the game. I think our defense line played above that.
Right.
I thought our defensive line played at a really high standard, and it was really, really nice seeing them step it up. And then our linebackers fit very well, and I think Norton had one of his better games. Right. He's getting into the flow of things. Ryan Merrill is just scrapping, and our two inside linebackers really showed up. I think Brandon really was outstanding all day, and Sammy Singleton had one of his better games. So.
He called his name a lot, so he was in the mix.
Right.
It's one of those, you missed him the week before. He didn't make the trip to Black Hills, so you knew he wasn't part of that. But boy, when he showed up Saturday, we sure talked to him a lot.
Well, it was nice that you were calling those guys' name versus LaRon and J.
Yeah, because
it wasn't Joseph Jones, and so
when they looked at that matchup early, the tight end on Joe Jones, and that. Joe Jones is as good a run-stopping safety as there is, but teams like to pick on him in the passing game, and he got that big tight end a couple times. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, we were able, they were mixing it up on who are they going to read, whether it was run-pass option, and, they got a few of us, but when you limit Austin Eckler to his longest run of 17 yards, I believe is what it was, and he only had 67, and after 20-some carries, that good things will happen.
And then we'll close out this segment with the last ditch play of the game. They called the timeout, And we kind of surmised they were having some success down the middle, but you made a nice adjustment on that play. Had almost threw it into quadruple plus
coverage.
Got pressure. I think the key was getting quick pressure on him, and he had to make a decision. He went down the middle, and you had him bracketed pretty good.
Right, and I think that's adjustment that, Coach Leo and Hunter and Carl, that were all on the headsets, JT and Bo Beck were getting the pass rush going, and so, it's just a great group effort, and I think it was just a really an emotional win for all of us, because we knew that was going to be a big deal for us.
All right, John Wristen Show. We are here at Andy Mack's. Our next segment, we're going to take your questions. If you have a question for the coach, you can text me at 719-671-7574. Or if you know Joe, text Joe. We got other ways to get it. We can
John,
get it here.
text Jim.
We'll take those questions.
And the hot mic.
And we do have the hot mic.
mic.
Anybody here in person wants to come give John a question in person. We are at Andy Mack's. It is the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Hey, people, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. The music came in hot. Wasn't me.
It's your fault, and it is your
It's little Caitlin Norton's fault there.
You sound like the officials.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Sound like the officials.
Well, it's time for our question and answer segment. And if the hot mic we do have here.
Come on, hot mic.
So, hot mic people.
I wish my name was Mike, because it would be the hot mic segment.
Got 2 sets of tickets each. So 2 tickets apiece. So 2 sets for the tailgate party for this Saturday. So if you come up and give us a question, you get into the tailgate free.
That's food.
Yeah, that's food.
I think it's booze, too, isn't it?
Drink. It's good stuff. So if you got a question for John,
Maybe I'll go find out for the game.
I think we should go. We should do our show from there.
Let's go question ourselves.
Let's go.
John and
Let's do the
Jim
pregame show.
Pregame coaches show from the tailgate.
So I don't see anybody running up here, but the hot mic is ready to go.
Oh, wait.
Wayne's got 2. He wants it.
2 tickets.
There we go. Let me get you fired up there. You get the mic on. Check. Slide it up there. There you go. I think you're on.
I heard.
There we go. All right. First things first. Just wanted to again say to Coach Wristen and to Coach Hunter Hughes, if he's listening, that was such an amazing defensive performance.
It was awesome, wasn't
67 yards, the leading rusher in the country. That's beyond amazing. So, tip of the hat there. And my question, first question is, if you want to deal with it on the air, do you had a question about a couple of dinged up people? Is that something you want to talk about?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
DYs with the shoulder and Austin's ankle. How they coming along?
DY's shoulder, we've limited him in practice, and I think he's going to be able to play in a limited role on Saturday. Austin will play a whole bunch on Saturday.
So then are we going to get the Kevin Ribrich show back there on the punts? Or?
We're going to have Kevin a little bit. Also, Kaylin Anderson, we're going to get a chance. Kaylin did it last year, and we're trying to give him a little look back there as a senior.
All right, well, Pete Dixie.
All right. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate all your support.
All right. Wayne. Minnequaw Pats on Twitter, right?
That's right.
There you go. We love it.
So I don't know how they procure those tickets to the tailgate.
Well, they're going to go see Tracy when you get there. When you get to the tailgate Saturday, just find Tracy Zamora.
Tell her John sent you.
Tell her John sent you for the tickets. So that's the first set. If anybody else wants to come to the tailgate, come on up and give us the hot mic question. We're going to move on now to...
we got some questions here.
Yeah, we got Mr. Positive.
All right.
He's dovetailing with the defense.
Okay.
And he thought it was a great defensive effort. He wants to know if we're going to be able to keep up the same level of intensity and pressure throughout this season, because he wants you guys to battle just as hard as he's going to battle. You guys are kind of inspiring each other. You battle harder, he'll battle harder. Vice versa.
Well, that's the name of the game.
That's the guy. They up on the stadium.
That's the name of the game is trying to play with the right intensity and compete at the highest level, and we're going to do that. And I'm looking forward to this opportunity. This is really a good Dixie team, and I think we're gaining a lot of confidence. And this team has grown in 16, and it's been a lot of fun to see that growth.
Okay. We miss Eddie.
Yeah.
We always talk to him before games, and it's been a while. So Eddie, we're thinking of you.
Yeah, he might make it this week. We'll see.
Okay.
Might make it to the game. So here's a good question for you, John. I want to know, where does the RMA get their officials? Out of the phone book? Do they just look for people and just phone a friend? Or what? Okay, we don't have to answer that. That was one of the questions that came in. Now
when you ask Gene, when you see Gene,
Gene, the officiating machine.
We get the hook and bring him out there with the gun. All right. Other question: when you're running plays, and do you have specific personnel packages? When you have a certain play run, is it always with a certain personnel package, or is everybody schooled and running the same play? How do you dictate who's going to be with a certain package? Like when we see that full house backfield that you've kind of gone to now with the three guys in the backfield, kind of looks like a triangle sitting there with Rex and the pistol. How do you determine things? Or is it
that's our based on personnel to execute the play properly, and it's all about trying to find your right matchups. And we feel like sometimes our different formations and matchups with our tight ends give us advantage. We're trying to move them around so we have a chance to create a number advantage for us, and so that's what we try to do.
All right, there's that question. Now we've got another one here. We thank Ken for that one. Kevin Stavely, our Wyoming connection up there in Gillette. We didn't get a chance. He had offered us to go by and drop by for a cold one when we're coming back from Black Hills, but Joe wanted to turn left instead of keep going to Gillette. But
can you blame me?
Well, the sheep were nervous when you're up there.
Exactly, they should be. Kevin wants to know, when are we going to, just forget all this RMAC stuff. Of course, we had the taking away the title this week. He's kind of dovetailing that. He wants to know, when are we going to go Division I? Big Sky. He's a big thinker.
Well, it takes a lot of money to be able to do that, and so we're not even close to be fully funded Division II, but we're working there.
All right.
And so I don't see that happening.
And then somebody wants to know, are they going to keep up the jersey here at Andy Mack's for the RMAC championship, or is that going to be like an unofficial championship here? Or we're going to have to take that one down.
Well, it's people's choice
of what
they want to do, but I think we're just going to go ahead and advertise all those things. We'll just put a little asterisk up there.
There you go. Okay.
Make sure everybody happy.
Madison and Abigail checking in.
Oh, my two favorites.
If you had to pick one, which player would you most like to have as a roommate? You could go a lot of different ways here.
Wow.
Who is able to procure the certain type of people you'd want to be with you're in college, I think. Who is most friendliest? You know what I'm talking about. If somebody's got a good entourage, do you want to be a roommate with them?
I think the guy that would be a lot of fun would be Bernard McDonald. Yeah. I think he would bring a little levity to every situation, and you'd have a roommate that would laugh and trust him the whole bit. But I think that Spencer Nate's pretty good inside there. I think Ty McCauley inside. I might be like one of those guys. I think Alex McConas is a guy, but I think Bernard he'd add a lot of laughs and a lot of fun stuff coming in and being a roommate.
I'm telling you, if I could pick one player on this team to hang out with and be a roommate, it's a slam dunk.
I know who you're going to.
Brock Davies.
Yep. I've hung out with him. It's fun. It's an experience.
I mean, it'll set your clock back about 7 years.
I love that guy.
But why not?
And he's a good teammate on the road in certain areas. If you need a slice of pizza, he'll get a slice of pizza for you. He's that kind of guy.
He's the guy that procures.
When you're in the casino, you need pizza, he'll get you pizza. That's what I always remember. Man, Brock, that was nice. All right, the RMAC championship time. Multiple teams. We've talked about this before, but somebody new to the show might not know. The RMAC has certain rules. Even if you've got a head-to-head victory over somebody, it doesn't matter. If you end up tied, there's no tiebreaker, right?
There's no tiebreaker. And I brought it up that year that in 14, in fact, between Mines and us, but no one wanted to change it. And so...
good for you this year.
Well, yes, it is.
All right. Another listener wants to know, number 95. Mr. Kelly.
Ian Kelly
played a whale of a game.
Oh.
And he wants to know what is his history. Also, it looked like the head coach was a little gimpy running onto the field. Any injuries we should be concerned about with the head coach?
No, the head coach has what he has is bad knees and trying to do that. And so Ian Kelly played an outstanding game, and he's done a nice job. He's getting stronger as we go through. He's kind of been the unsung hero on that defensive line, but he's a steady Eddie guy that you can count on. He came from out of San Diego, out of Rosemont. and we're really, really happy with his progress. He's grown up. I'm just really proud that he's had a chance to finish his college career here.
It's been interesting. You mentioned Ian Kelly and Deion Sizer. At practice today, I watched the defensive line a lot today, and Bo Beck was spending great time with Ian and Deion. They were going hard for a Wednesday in the middle of practice. It was kind of fun to watch. And Bo, if you don't know Bo Beck, he's a visiting coach, and he's as big as a mountain.
Man, oh man!
But he talks to these guys, and he had both Ian Kelly and Deion Sizer working this drill, and they both were like on fire. I mean, they were just killing people in this drill, and I mean, it was a strange drill because I never paid much attention to it. But I thought, okay, that's why Ian Kelly's had the year he's had. That's why Deion Sizer is going to be the guy that we think he's going to be.
Well, I think it's really helped JT being around a veteran defensive line coach,
sure.
And so Bo and his being very humble and has come down and really helped us. And I think it's been awesome having him around this season.
Okay, where's the coach taking his wife on vacation after the season?
Well,
we throw all kinds of questions at you, John. You got to be ready. It's rapid fire.
Rochelle?
Well, I think that we'll.
Yes, it is from Rochelle.
Probably end up going to Kansas City for the national championship. Maybe in May, I might take her to Mexico.
Oh, there you go.
All right, that's cool. All right, listener 4, I have him in my phone here, John. Wants to know how much it costs to feed the team on the road. Then he's got a follow-up after that.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
You know, we probably spend anywhere from
say one meal. Let's say dinner on Friday night when you're in
dinner. Friday night probably be close to $1,800.
Okay.
It was
plus tip.
Did you eat at Mario's?
No, we ate at the Poorhouse. Gave us a great deal of spaghetti dinner, chicken parmesan, but you go to the Golden Corral and all that. That's almost $15 per person, and we travel with about 80 people, and so.
And you've seen all the RMAC. Where's your favorite place away from Pueblo to go? Where do you like to go? I mean, other than Pueblo. I mean, you got to have some place where you don't dread going, I got to slide in here and go here. And I mean, is there a place that, it's got kind of good John food and that you kind of look forward to?
No, there ain't a place in the RMAC I freaking like. I ain't going.
You're kind of grumpy on the road, aren't you?
Hell no, I'm there to friggin' win a ball game. Right. I ain't there to.
I'll tell you. Well, we'll answer. Our favorite place got to be the Country Kitchen there in
Chadron.
That's
it's right next, and you do your meetings there and everything.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you guys like that. That was. I like being there, but I don't love going there and being a part of it. But
come on,
when you get there, you got to enjoy it.
I can't go, I'm glad I'm going to Country Kitchen in Chadron, Nebraska.
Well, as opposed to the little poor thing outside of western New Mexico. I mean, there's places that I know you dread going, but there's got to be places where you're like, yeah, this one's not so bad.
Well, I
guess not.
You got me stumped here.
All right, that's fine. We're going to move on.
The Subway in Lusk.
Same listener I put a little explanation on Facebook, John. I know you look at the Jim Brooks fan page on Facebook on a nightly basis, every night, trying to see what's going on.
Tie ball game.
We had yeah, there we go. We got an error. But kind of went through it with the top 10. Reading they're out again today. CSU Pueblo not amongst the top 10. You're probably 11th or 12th the way I had to look at it if I was going that far down the list. But, there's probably some locks in here. You probably look at the top 6. I don't think mine's going to lose again. They're probably going to get in there. Truman State, they got a game against your old buddy. Yeah, they get at McKendree on the last game of the year. They're 6th right now, so they could lose that one. McKendree's playing pretty good this year. So that could get them their 3rd loss. Ashland's got to play Walsh, is kind of okay, and they got to finish Ohio Dominican. They could lose that ball game. Ferris State, here's the wild card. I think that kind of hurt when they won on Saturday. Kind of get them back in the mix, but they've got Hillsdale and Saginaw Valley, so you got to feel like they're going to get it. Mason's got that tough game, the last game of the year, which could knock them down to 3 losses. Wayne State's got to play Ohio Dominican and Grand Valley, I believe, so you probably got to feel like they're not going to survive it. So there's probably a road for you to get in there. You got to win both these games, and everything's just got to fall perfectly into place, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the stars got to line, but you know what?
You don't care about it. You're just going to do your job, right?
We got to do what we can, and that's beat. Go 1-0 each week, and we have 2 games that are guaranteed to us, and we got 120 minutes left of football. We got 60 minutes of football left on Saturday, and we got to go and play that as fast as we can because we're playing a good Dixie team.
Well, we're going to talk about Dixie. It's going to be brief when we come back. We went a little long on this segment. We thank everybody for your questions each and every week here on the John Wristen Show. One more segment to go. Hear from Andy Max on Fox Sports Pueblo.
John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back. Final segment of the John Wristen Show. Here from Andy Max. Thank everybody once again for all the questions they sent in tonight. And we thank Tracy Samora from the Alumni Foundation for providing us with the Hot Mic Prize.
Hey, how about Forrest in the food tonight?
That's awesome.
Forrest did a good job. He always does a good job for us.
The chicken nuggets we thought were maybe a little crispy, but we liked them.
Nice.
We liked them that way.
And Lane always taking care of us at the bar. Lane she's good at what she does.
Yeah, she's the new one in charge, isn't she?
Well, they're all here, but let's hear it up for Lane. She's
exactly.
Awesome.
All right.
And Emily's back. There she is.
Miss Wisconsin's back.
All right, great. All right, we got about 3 minutes to go here. Let's talk about Dixie real quick. The quick primer for this ball club. What are we going to see from them, John? Are they going to run it? They're going to pass it? They're going to stuff you on defense? What are they going to do?
Dixie does a great job in their run. They're a lot like us. They're going to get a tight end involved. They're going to get 2 backs involved. They're going to go to Wildcat, and they're really explosive. And their backs and their special team guys, they hit it north and south. I mean, there's not a lot of dancing. There's little creases, and these guys hit it. And so they're really big up front, and they're maturing as they go through. Defensively, last week you never knew where everybody was coming from. This week, you got a pretty well sound structured defense, and their front 3 guys, I saw them when they played Mesa, they just took those guys and just threw them around. Yeah. I mean, there's literally 2 plays where they take the number 91, he takes it, that center, and just drapes him across. Wow. And it was really, really impressive to see. And they're playing really fundamental football. And from week 1 to where they are now, you can see why they keep improving. A lot of fundamentals, and their coaching staff has done a nice job keeping them together.
They have some quality wins.
Yeah.
I mean, look at their schedule. They have they killed Western State.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have quality wins.
Well, they beat Western State 28-20, but they got after Mesa, and Mesa jumped out 17-0 on them, and they kept battling back, and so I think this is a game where you're going to see their backs head right downhill, and it's going to be a hard-fought, physical type of game. Some of the things that you want to play here in the 1st of November. You want to have a chance. It's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere with us being able to have to play for our lives. They're playing for their respect of the league and try to welcome in the league to be able to be part of that.
Do you have to I don't know. I don't want to say prepare anymore, but is it a little bit different since this is somebody you've never played before, almost like a playoff game?
Well, that's how we're kind of approaching it, is that this is a playoff game for us, and how we got to win this and do the right things to get into it. And with this being a new team that we haven't faced, I've seen them on film over the years, but now they're going to be a league member, and this is going to be a team that you got to reckon with.
All right, John, you got about 30 or 40 seconds here. Nice to be back at home. You got 2 games at home to close out the season. Message for the fans.
Well, I think after this week, we need a little home cooking. We need a little get everybody excited here at home, and we're only guaranteed 2 more games left, and this is the one. It should be a great I don't want to hear the weather's too hot or too cold. It should be perfect for everybody to come out and have a great time in the Thunder Bowl. Our guys are maturing. Our guys, this 16th team, has done a great job of representing us, and I really would appreciate, and our kids would really appreciate it. We get a packed house and come be loud and proud. I'd like to see us that Dixie get a 5-yard penalty because we're so loud in the stands. And so it should be an exciting ball game. We'd love to have everybody out.
All right, we look forward to it. 1:30 on the pregame show, 2 o'clock kickoff right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. We thank everybody here at Andy Max, my partner Joe Cervi, for the head coach John Wristen, for Caitlin Norton, our producer and engineer. Jim Brooks bidding you good night from Andy Max. Go Pack!
Thanks for listening to the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. Tune in again next week at the same time for all things CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football. Only on Fox Sports 1350, KCCY Pueblo.